More than 29 million people in the United States have diabetes, but 1 out of 4 don't even know they have it. This November is National Diabetes Awareness Month. To talk more about this issue that hits close to the valley is Dr. Michelle Cordoba from Doctors Hospital at Renaissance. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
So this is a very important issue. Let's just talk about the symptoms of diabetes.
So a common symptom that you'll see is weight loss initially. Sometimes patients might feel a little bit thirsty, really tired. As their blood sugar levels get really high, they tend to urinate out sugar, and that's going to make them very weak.
And let's talk about some of the risk factors that, that put people at risk of course, developing this disease.
The number one risk factor would be being overweight. So as the body gets bigger, the body can't handle the high blood sugars very well. So being overweight is really going to increase the risk. Other risk factors would be certain ethnic populations. And so, for example, Asians and Hispanics are especially at risk for type 2 diabetes.
Yeah, this is a problem that's here in the valley. There is an alarming statistic of just how many people could develop it here in the valley.
Correct. A statistic that you'll hear is in the state of Texas, 1 in 12 people will either currently have diabetes or at risk for developing diabetes. Here in the valley, it's more like 1 in 3.
Wow, and you were telling me that, we associate diabetes with people who are overweight, but in the Hispanic population, they might not really look, obese, and they could still have it.
Right, that's a very good point. Caucasian or European populations can tolerate a higher weight at a much larger degree prior to developing diabetes, whereas Hispanic populations may not actually be that much overweight, yet still develop diabetes. Certain populations like Hispanics can put fat in and around their organs, and that's going to increase the risk of type 2 diabetes. And
what's some part of their diet that's putting them at risk for getting this?
It's a number of calories, especially carbohydrates. Here in the valley, we tend to eat a lot of carbohydrates. So things that we advise our patients is to minimize carbohydrate intake and also pay attention to portion control.
And let's just talk about, what can a loved one do to support someone who has diabetes? I mean, Thanksgiving is around the corner, so is there anything that they can do to help?
Absolutely. I always tell my patients that there's really no evil food that they absolutely have to avoid. However, as families come together, you can support your loved ones by encouraging healthy portion control. So it's okay to taste a little bit of everything at the table, but I think a lot of us tend to eat until we're full. Maybe just try to eat until you're not hungry anymore. Another huge thing is to support your family members by engaging in healthy activity. Physical activity, even just doing a walk a couple times a week, that's really going to help bring down the risk for diabetes as well as blood sugars. Studies have shown that doing a walk today will have a lasting effect for several days to benefit the patients.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for sharing important
Absolutely.
information.
Thank you.